I'll preface this with everyone because this comes up a lot. So a lot of players, especially now in the pandemic, people who are home, just a lot of players who right now they've lost kind of that offline aspects, that competitive thing. A lot, we're all competitors, right? So especially Mega X, he came up with something saying, he's like, oh, when I'm playing now, I'm in a bit of a slump. I've been in a slump for like the last year or so. I've been in the slump for the last like year, not year, sorry, the last few months, and he's in this vortex, which a lot of us go through. We all go through that, especially now. There's no offline tournaments. There's kind of nothing in sight. So that's where Mega X or many players are going to. So what we're about to talk about now are many aspects, but they're all a part of the same beast. And that same beast is your expectations. Like, what do you expect to happen, right? So all of them they all come from the same place. You expect something to be some way. So especially when you perform a certain way offline, like Mega X insinuated, or players, let's take Mega X out of it. We all expect, I played this way offline, I can mimic it online. And it's even harder when you're seeing players perform at probably the same level, or people seeing them perform at level or mimicking the same level, and you can't emulate that. So when you're seeing that, you yourself as a person, you feel like, man, damn, like, how are they 2Hing online and I'm not? How are they doing combos in 3-5 frames and I'm not? And your expectations go from, they start changing slightly, but you don't see it. So it starts, maybe one day you see your friend doing some sick combos. Like me, look, I can't play on PC 3 frames. I'm terrible on PC. I'm terrible on this. But your expectations, they don't know that. They only know what you put into them. So you're saying, okay, you start seeing them doing, you try to start doing, you start losing. Then you start saying no, but offline, I was doing these things, and online you start telling yourself, I should be able to do this, and then that starts happening. You start telling yourself, I should be able to play this way. I normally do this in this situation. This normally happens. Then that expectation, it grows. It's subtle. It's such a small thing. If this is going over all your heads, let me know. But it's subtle. It's a small thing, and it grows. It grows every day, every single day. Every loss that happens. What's going on, Emerson? Hope you're good. Every loss that happens, every so often, it's just little things, and it grows and grows and grows, and then it creates this loop. So every time you lose, you start making more excuses. You start saying, oh, it's laggy here, this happens. But all of it stemmed from this one place. It stemmed from this one place of ownership of your expectations and not being met in that one place. And then that goes into ownership of what you own yourself, what you have in your control. You're not in control of online. Shit, you're not even in control of the connection you face with someone. But a lot of players I see, they get so mad and frustrated of things they can't control. So we talked about expectations, and now we're talking about ownership. So in Mega X's case, or most players' cases, why they enter these slumps can be a cascade of loads of different little things. But it all comes from, obviously, expectations we have there. Now we're talking about ownership. Ownership means I'll break down ownership and why it applies here. So ownership will be something like, I lost. The famous example is, we all do this. Oh, I lost in this tournament. I just dropped a combo, or I dropped the game-winning combo versus that person. A lot of people say this, and it's a close 1-1. And I lost. A lot of players at all various levels all have the same excuse, and they're just like, oh man, I dropped the combo, this or this, and this happened, and you're just like, oh. And when they explain it, when you hear them explain, they don't talk about what happened before, what led up to that moment. They don't talk about what happened after the moment, what led up to the moment, their emotions during the moment, their nerves, the situation. None of that applies. All you remember after the moment is, damn, I dropped the combo. So you equate your whole experience. So you equate the entire experience of you played in that match, that first to 2, that 2-1, that you lost, that 1-2 you lost. You equate all your entire experience into just one moment. So that robs you of the ability to go past that moment. So instead of going into the future and progressing and getting better as we do every single day, if that you either get worse or better every day. You're never going to be the same as today, right? But instead of going forward, you're robbed of that ability to move forward because you're stuck in the past and you're stuck on that one moment. And that grows with every single victory or loss you have. Every single loss you have, even victories, you can get stuck in moments. And the more you get stuck in those moments, you won't progress. So that, again, we talk about expectations, but ownership, they seem like the same thing, but they're very different. So ownership is a ownership is a really really big topic, because just as I explained to you in that moment, that one loss, oh, I dropped the combo, you robbed yourself of talking about how did I get hit, what was my strategy, what happened afterwards, how many times did I get hit, how many times did my opponent block my stuff, how many times did I block their stuff. There's so many other articles you could look at that could help you progress in some way or manner, that can give you the vision of the player you want to be. But instead of focusing on all those aspects, what you've literally encapsulated and boiled it all down to is one moment, one particular moment. Now, people do this not just with combos, they do this with results. You're like, oh, offline, I'm this way, you know, oh, offline, I normally get top 8s, top 16s, top this and top that, but online, I can't do this. So you start blaming online. Like, don't get me wrong, online isn't great. It's not great. But using it as a form of practice is possible. It's not ideal, but it is possible. Especially if you want to take this game seriously. If you want to take this game seriously, or you want it in some capacity, whatever you're aiming towards, it is possible to do that. But when you start to not take ownership for yourself for the things that you're doing and what your opponent is doing, or giving even acknowledgement to your opponent, you're robbing yourself of these moments and you're trapping yourself in the past. So remember that, everyone. It's expectation, number one. Second one, the biggest one, is ownership. Take ownership, man. It's such a simple small thing, but once you start doing that, you'll be a legend. I thought this happens in a lot of competitive stuff. This happens in life. Supersonic fan. Pretty sure that's what SS stands for. But that's what happens in life, you know. Like, that's just in general. A lot of people, you get stuck in moments instead of moving forward. It happens when people get angry. So, perfect example, something angers you at the start of the day. Instead of moving forward in your day, you start harboring, thinking about that. I'm not telling you to look into the future. I'm telling you to assess your situation and ask yourself, what am I doing here? Is this helping me progress forward, or is this holding me back? If you can ask yourself that question when you're giving these excuses, like you lost in tournament, say, good games, thanks for the games I lost, or you got lucky, the connection wasn't great, but good games. Now, why did you say that? Who is that excuse for? Is that for you, or was for that your opponent, or was for that like just your ego? You know, who was that excuse for? Who needed to hear that? Did you want to say that to take away something from your opponent, to let him know that him or her or whoever the flip they are know that you're not weak or whatever? So you see what I mean, everyone? That it's all expectations and ownership. These two components can really help you. Now let's go all the way back. Let's take it all the way back to being in a slump. So when a player says they're in a slump, it's simple questions I ask. How does it start? And all these things begin because you put yourself in a self-imposed prison. Because you created this prison of your design. You've created this scenario where you've put all these unrealistic expectations of yourself. You want to be a person that 2H's everything online. You want to be a person that does all of this. You start comparing yourself to all these other players. They're progressing. I'm not progressing. This is happening on. There's no tournaments. All these things are flying through your head. And instead of focusing on yourself, you've polluted yourself in the world of everyone else's ideas. So you've lost those facets about yourself. You're just caring about everyone else but you. Everyone else but you. You're not grinding on what you need to be grinding. You're focusing on all of these random things, and instead of just circling back, stopping, waiting, and saying, why am I responding this way? And if you can, and if you need help doing that, look, I'm always here. Like I'm in the Discord. You can ask questions. Look, this is my day job. To everyone, like I'm a coach in my actual day job. I do this obviously with IT teams, and I'm more than happy to help people talk through what they need to talk through. If you want to have a coaching session, cool. First one's free. I don't mind. First one or two are free. Then we start talking about rates. But but jokes aside, just think about that whenever you're in this slump. Remember, it's all about accountability. Always about accountability. That's the third point. The third point is accountability, but it's always expectations, ownership, and accountability. If you can hold yourself accountable, in all those, in every moment, when you're going through these slumps, you know why you're going through it. So, I'm going through this because of this. I'm going through this because of that. Megex, I don't know if you're there, but this round will reach you. The round will reach you anyway. But this is for everyone in general. This is for all of you. This is for all of you. It will reach you. It will reach you all anyway. But just always remember, Megex, it's not you. It's not just you. You're going through this. We all go through it. And you mentioned time. Might have to pause. Sound maybe, but you mentioned a lot about. Can everyone hear me fine as well? If you can't, let me know. But Mega X mentioned time. A lot of players mentioned, "Oh, I'm getting older. I'm losing time. I'm out of my peak." That's the funniest one I hear as well. I hear that one a lot. I'm not in my peak. I'll tell everyone right now. I've been playing like competitively fighting games and tournaments since I was 14, 15, 14. I'm nearly 30. My 30th year. Been as what? That's like 15 straight years of signing up to brackets, playing, losing, winning, losing. I probably lost more than I've ever won. I've been at the height sometimes. I've been at the lowest. I've been where everyone was on my side and I'm at the top. And I've been at the crippling place where everyone forgets about you. I've been through the whole spectrum. But never, and at every moment, I will say every single year, I have always said the words, maybe last year I was better, or the year before I was better, or and only in the last probably 3 or 4 years have those notions left me, because I've realized my peak is what I want it to be. We're not playing a sport like basketball or something else where the skills needed for me to compete at an elite level, or a sport, the skills necessary for me to pull out elite level attributes are literally tied to physical attributes. No, I'm playing fighting games where I can accommodate in other areas. So when people are like, I've reached my peak, how? Every day you're gaining more knowledge than you did yesterday. In 2 weeks, you know more than you did today. So it's impossible. It's literally impossible. Every day your awareness grows. You start seeing more. You start looking at the screen differently. You start watching replays or watching tournaments. Instead of watching tournaments as a form of entertainment, you're watching the tournament to spot why are these things happening? Why is Jilla standing here at this range away from hit? Oh, because hits 5H. Because hits 5H doesn't reach there, you know? Like for another example, why is someone saying because hits 5H whiffs? Oh, so that's why he stays there. But what does his opponent do when he stays in that range? Oh, he tries to juggle and dash block and get closer. All those little things, you start looking at things a bit different. I chose a really simple example. But it's just to show you, you start looking at things differently from you did yesterday. You weren't looking at it like that yesterday. So how the hell can you stagnate or not reach a peak when every single time you're viewing the game, you're watching the game, your awareness grows? What sport or what game, apart from chess and obviously other RTSs, but what game allows you to do that? I'm saying this is not just why we love fighting games, but Mega X, this is a perfect example. All of you, when you feel like you're at your peak, or you're feeling like you're not getting to levels you want to be, or you're comparing yourselves to others, just remember, it's about you and your awareness. Awareness in fighting games is a huge thing. So if you're stuck thinking about, oh, I'm peaked, I was better here, I was doing this, then start small. Go back. Think about awareness. Expand your awareness. Start looking at more things. Have more plans. Have a plan on top of a plan. Have a plan on top of a plan. Have another plan. Build slow. Build the empire slowly. Plaster on top. Layer your tactic. And then when you layer it again and again and again and again and again, and you grow upon it. But when you start saying, "Oh, I'm stagnated, man. Season 2 I was great. Season 1 and now I'm not great." Maybe you aren't great. Maybe now you got to grow to be great. Maybe now's the time you got to sit down and say, "Okay, what do I need now to push you to that next level? Let me hold myself accountable. Am I doing really well right now? Probably. Can I be better? Yes. What can I do to be better?" See that ownership. What can I do? I'm not telling I dropped that combo versus Rudy. I'm not saying, oh, the combo versus Rudy and he won. No, I'm saying I lost. Those are two different things. Shout out to Booty. Those are two completely different things. I lost is a completely different stance than, oh, I dropped a combo or something else. So you see, it's just changing the verbiage and how you talk to yourself or what you project out into the world can ultimately affect you and helps you in the long run. So going back to fighting games, you say I'm in a slump or I want to improve. I'm just breaking down if I was in a slump. So if I was in a slump, which a lot of us are right now, I'd say, cool. How can I work on my awareness? Okay, my character combos. How good are my combos? Can I if I go here, go bloody info display from a 2M, do I know my strongest damage? Do I know that with all my characters? Can I sit hand on heart and say, I know the most damage from a 2M here, 1 assist, 2 assists, 2 assists and spark, 1 assist and the spark's going down, assist not going down. Then I move forward. I say, cool, my next character from a 5L, from an IAD, mid screen, back to corner, non back to corner, mid screen going to the corner, inside the corner, me in the corner, them out of the corner. Do I know all the routes possible? All the DR routes? Can I DR with my assists? Do I know spark combos with all my assists? There's so many avenues you can go. So many is it past your bedtime, uncle? Yeah, it's way past my bedtime. I'm ending this rant soon. But there's so many ways you can go with this when you feel like you're in a slump. You're like, oh, instead of focusing on I used to be the man in 86. That's literally what you're saying. You're literally saying to all the young kids, I used to be that guy in 1986. You don't want to be that guy. Wait, let me find that meme right now. Let me find that meme right now. Watch. I think I got it on my phone. Let me get it from Mega right now. This is what Mega's saying to himself. And if anyone's got any questions, just pop them in the chat. This will take me like a minute or so. Because this is fully rant session. Full rants only. Where is it? There we go. Look, the Mega, this is you right now. Oh, this is most people. This is you right now. When you're trying to explain to your nephews for the 1000th time, he was like, nigga, 96. This is you right now. Man, in season 2, though. That's you right now. That's you right now, Meg. You're telling yourself in 96. In 96, I was amazing. In 96, I was amazing. In this time, amazing. You're not being accountable. You're not holding yourself accountable to the you of today by comparing you to when you compare yourself to the you of yesterday, of yesteryear. Oh, back in this game, I was good or whatever. You're trapping yourself in the past. What's going on, Matt? You're trapping yourself in the past. What did SSF say? I feel like even knowing about the slump stuff is still difficult to actually apply it mentally. That's why I'm here talking to you about actual steps. What helps for me is taking a break, month or two. That's running for me. Taking a break, month or two is running away from it. But that's because I still think of less of making mistake, losing, and focus on improving. Yeah, for me, that's running away. That I'm talking about actual. Yeah, SSF. I'm talk that talk. Yeah, for me, I'm talking about the legit, the hard truths. I'm speaking of the hard truths. Everyone loves that notion. Oh, just take a break. Just escape. Just take a break. No, f that. You're running away. You're not solving. You're not solving the issue. You're running away from the issue till it bubbles up again and then it comes again. It's the equivalent of someone who has anger management problems, and instead of solving what triggers you, you're running away from your trigger, and once your trigger comes back again, you're just gonna have the same thing again. And then you have people self-loathing and telling each other, oh man, when I get burnt out, do you know what I do? I just stop playing. Address why it came in the first place. Why have I never burnt out playing my favorite fighting game? Why have you burnt out playing our favorite fighting game? Because there's something, again, all boils down to the three things we talked about before: expectations, ownership, and accountability. One of those three you have effed up, you have completely destroyed, or you've mismanaged one of those three. You've completely mismanaged one of those three, and this is going to rear its head and bite you again. Now, I'm not here to say, like, PSA. I'm not here to say taking a break isn't good and not necessary. What's going on, Matt? Nah, it's a rant, Matt. It's a rant. We're doing big boy rants today. Thanks for coming by.